We are a community filled with people from everywhere, you know?
I think it's multi-ethnic. It's also multiracial.
You haven't been to New York City if you're a traveler, if you haven't come to Flushing.
This is an amazing place, and also we can see different culture.
When you come to Flushing, you see the whole world.
When I moved to my apartment in Central Flushing in 1978, downtown Flushing, like much of New York City, was economically depressed. The local merchants were really wringing their hands like the economy in Flushing was falling apart. But it was Asian small business that really revitalized Flushing, beginning in the late 70s and then more in the 80s and 90s.
Flushing has played a role of being a platform for the middle class where people can come from around the world with very little, put in their blood, sweat, and tears, and reach the American dream.
You definitely see that downtown Flushing is kind of undergoing this incredible renaissance in terms of the influx of real estate finance and the new development that's happening.
Seeing these monster high-rises that look like downtown Manhattan or midtown Manhattan nowadays, and they're building an entire community within these structures. You have a lot of residential units coming onto the market, you have a lot of retail that are brand name.
All of the economic activity that small businesses have developed through their own labor is really being now leveraged by developers moving in and taking advantage of the value of land that has increased because of economic activity.
When big business come to the community, then small business need to compete. But competition is always good for the residents. But how to get a balance, this is another issue. We have to think about that. That's the reason why the Greater Flushing Chamber of Commerce will think about what to do to help the small business to get a balance in this community.
Being inclusive is very important. And I think the Chamber does a good job of it. And I think it's just more of getting your voices out there and being heard and trying to find a mutual ground for everyone to work off of, a platform to expand on.
Here you have a business association that is so diverse, that brings together all these business owners that come from different backgrounds. They're looking at the same situation, like how can we make Flushing better in terms of resources, education, information, workshops.
We're working very closely with the Department of Small Business Services to ensure that small businesses are not left out of the changes in technology and marketing that are really reshaping retail in the United States.
They're going to help small businesses get their name out to the community by marketing. We're currently involved with expanding the Main Street sidewalk, the Long Island Railroad expansion, also potentially bringing a ferry and expanding the air train from LaGuardia into Flushing.
I bank on Flushing every day. It's the city that gave me opportunity. It's the city that taught me it doesn't matter where you're from.
I'm kind of banking on Flushing, on those community-based groups and the Chamber to kind of continue to advocate, for a Flushing that is accessible, that is livable, that is meant for all the people that live in Flushing currently and work here and start their businesses here.
The Chamber is banking on Flushing. We're all in.